The Washington Commanders have a lot of questions coming into this season. Is Sam Howell the franchise quarterback? Will Ron Rivera and his revamped offense, the new offensive coordinator and Eric Bieniemy, lead to success? Or will the Commanders just continue to play bad football and be a team that's below 500 looking to just clean house and get new faces into the building? Well, let's find out. Going into the 2023 season, the Commanders' biggest question marks is what will they do at the quarterback position, offensive line, and cornerback. Now, Washington did address the cornerback position by naming Sam Howell the starting quarterback and signing Jacoby Brissett to be a very good veteran backup. They also addressed the offensive line needs by signing Andrew Wiley and Nick Gates, who are very good veteran pieces, but may not be the guys that will get you over the edge and be the top tackles, the top guards in the league. While these moves might not push the needle, it will definitely help them get better, though. The team also was able to re-sign Daron Payne, which is a huge relief, as he was somebody that can definitely help the defensive line continue to get after the quarterback and be able to keep the running game to a minimal. Now, obviously, Daron Payne re-signing is a huge relief for them, but it also means that some players will not be able to come back. They did lose Cole Holcomb, but they brought in Cody Barton from Seattle, who is a decent linebacker. He's not going to be as good as Cole Holcomb, but he definitely will be serviceable. And obviously, they did sign a lot of players, but most of them are role players or just going to be backups that won't really show much on the field or do really much anything to really change the game at all. The re-signing of Daron Payne was basically their big free agent acquisition because they paid him a lot of money for a defensive tackle. Now, did the Commanders really get a cornerback in free agency? No. They did fix the offensive line, and they did go to quarterback in Jacoby Brissett, who, if Sam Howell struggles, can come in and play and maybe give the team a few wins and stuff. But it all depends on how well the offensive line can play and if they can keep the quarterback upright. They have the weapons to do good. It's just a matter of if the offensive line can give them enough time and if the defense will be able to get stops because, well, the only cornerback that they have that is okay is Kendall Fuller. And he's getting old, and if they don't have anybody to replace him, you're going to be a little bit at lost cause. So, as much as the moves they made in free agency were okay, I don't think that's going to set them over the hump unless they made some huge changes in the draft. Speaking of the draft, let's get into that part. Now, in the 2023 NFL Draft, the Commanders did address the need of a cornerback with their first two picks. The first corner they selected, Emmanuel Forbes out of Mississippi State. Many people were shocked to see him go ahead of Christian Gonzalez, who was the top-rated cornerback in this year's draft. Now, obviously, Forbes is somebody who can obviously turn into something good in the future. It just all depends on if he will, and how the Commanders are able to develop this young cornerback out of Mississippi State. That's all to be seen. Now, Forbes is no slouch himself. There's a reason why he was drafted in the first round, but he does have the question marks of if his size will be able to play in the NFL. Forbes only weighs 168 pounds when he weighed in at the combine. That's very light for his position. Is he going to be getting pushed around on the line of scrimmage and stuff when he tries to do press man coverage, or is he going to be able to stop him? That still has to be remained to be seen. Now, the second corner they drafted was Jatavis Martin, who has 10 experience inside the slot position, playing over 400 snaps per season there. He's coming from a Big Ten conference where there are a good amount of wide receivers that are okay, but not the best, not the cream of the crop, basically, of wide receivers. He is someone who obviously will bring a lot of experience to that DB room and maybe be able to be a good slot corner, but that's where Kendall Fuller kind of plays. Kendall Fuller isn't that boundary corner. He's a very good slot guy, and maybe he moves out to the outside and Jatavius Martin can take that slot from him, but that's still remains to be seen. Now, they also did draft a center, which was a huge need for them in Ricky Starnberg out of Arkansas. He didn't allow a sack all year, which is huge from the competition that he saw on the inside of the defensive line. But then again, he is a center, so there's not much of one-on-one opportunities that he will have. So be a little bit wary on his sack number. But he did go against good competition in the SEC. Now, I think he's going to bring a lot of experience because he did start there a lot, and he also played a lot of positions, center, guard. So he'll bring some experience and some versatility to him. But now, in the later rounds, they did draft KJ Henry and Chris Rodriguez Jr. Those are people that I think will be steals for this team. KJ Henry is a guy who played a lot of college football, and he played at a high level at Clemson and has played in big games. So he knows what it's like to be in big games and not have that nervous feel or be able to just channel his emotions when he needs to be. And he could be someone that could be serviceable, and especially learning behind of guys like Chase Young, Montez Sweat, Daron Payne, and Jonathan Allen could definitely help him improve and become really a good pass rusher. Now, Chris Rodriguez is someone who I definitely think is a huge steal for this team. He's a serviceable back who won't do much through the air game, but when he gets in between the tackles, he is just amazing. He did that at Kentucky, and it was really good, and he showed what he could be. But it's just a matter of is he really going to get the playing time right away? Because they have Brian Robinson, and then they have Antonio Gibson. Since he's not really that versatile in the passing game, he's not going to get reps over Antonio Gibson. And since Brian Robinson is a little bit of a more well-rounded back, he's going to get all the reps, and he's been named the starter. So he might be the one that everybody looks to for all the answers and stuff like that. So it's more or less just what are they going to try to do to mix the runners? Now, obviously, 3 backs is not bad. They're able to mix match a lot of that stuff, and he's a really good run blocker on third down. So maybe he is going to be a third down back for them. So honestly, my honest opinion of this team is if Sam Howell is the quarterback of the future for this team, oh my God, are they going to be a surprise team in 2023? They're going to shock everybody. They're going to be a team that's competing in the NFC East. But it all depends on how Sam Howell does and the weapons controlled. If not, they're going to be picking in the top 10, drafting Drake May, Quinn Ewers, or Caleb Williams if they can get that number 1 overall selection from the Cardinals. Tough. But really, it's just if Sam Howell is the guy for them and he's able to develop in Eric Bieniemy's system with all the weapons he has, it's going to be because of the new offensive coordinator and how the offensive line plays. They can't be not having him down all the whole time and just being a not so great player because he's injured. They need him on the field, and if he's on the field, he's going to be somebody that is just going to light it up, I feel. He is somebody who has sky-high potential and could be a top quarterback in the NFC East and maybe even in the NFC. The weapons he has in Terry McLaurin, Curtis Samuel, and Jahan Dotson is just insane. These guys can develop together. Curtis Samuel might not be back next year, but they have Jared McLaurin and Jahan Dotson, 2 guys who are young and still growing together. So the sky is the limit with this team, and I believe they're going to be able to reach it and maybe be a second-place team and beat out the Cowboys and Giants in the NFC East if everything clicks. And that's why they're going to be a surprise team. So, I thank you all for watching. Please click that like button, make sure it turns blue. Click the subscribe button and notification bell. Have a good day, everyone.